This is Mrs. Naslund, and today we'll be doing Fluency Lesson 10, Word Problems. Our learning target for today is, I can demonstrate fluency in multiplication and division facts. All right, mostly what we're going to focus on is talking about different types of word problems that we could come across. So first we're going to talk about these different types. First we have array multiplication problems. And if you remember, our arrays that we talked about were those the things that we had a certain number of rows, we had a certain number of columns, and we used those to help us figure out our multiplication. So these problems are going to have words in them such as row, they might have the word column in them. Usually they'll have those keywords, and that's going to help us figure out which one it is. The next one, sorry, I'm still writing here. The next one is array division. And array division is going to be just the same thing. It'll have row or column in it, but it'll be a division problem instead of a multiplication problem. All right. Repeated group multiplication. This is going to be a word problem that's your basic multiplication problem. You'll look at it and you'll know the number of groups. So I just have this little picture here. You'll know the number of groups. You'll know the number of things in the groups. You'll know the group size is a way to put it. And you'll know that you just need to multiply those. So you'll know, for example, in this case, I would say, 3 times 3. And I have my answer. Okay, that's the repeated group multiplication. D is repeated group division with unknown group size. So this is one of the division ones. Okay, we've got 3 division ones. So it could be this one, or this one. Okay, so in a repeated group division with unknown group size, it's a division problem, but we don't know how many things are in each of these groups. We know that we have 3 groups, but within the group, we don't know how many these little cherries or the pieces that we have. Okay, and E is repeated group division with unknown multiplier, the number of group. So it's division, and I know the pieces in each group, but I don't know how many groups I have. Okay, so we're going to read each problem, we'll work through them together and try to figure out which one of these types of problems it is as we go to solve it. So it says, for each multiplication problem, write a multiplication equation. For each division problem, write both a division equation and a multiplication equation. All right, it says, Letitia's uncle gave her 32 stamps and a new stamp book. The book has 8 pages, and she put the same number of stamps on each page. How many stamps did she have on each page? All right, so we know the total number of stamps she has, and she has 8 pages. And the first thing I would decide is this a multiplication or a division one? Because that helps us eliminate some of these things. So when I read this, I know it's a division problem because I have the total number of stamps and I have the number of pages, but I don't know how many things are on each page. So I'm going to have to do a division. And then I know it's not an array division because we're not talking about rows and columns, so that eliminates that one. So now it's really down to D and E here. So I have to decide, do I not know the number, the group size, or do I not know the number, sorry, not the group size, the number of things in each group for D, or do I not know the total number of groups? Okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, I look at this and it says the book has 8 pages. So each of the pages to me are the number of groups. So I do know the number of groups. So I'm going to say it's this repeated group division with unknown group size. I don't know how many things go in each group or in each of the pages. So I'm going to say that is D. And then I have to go ahead and write the equation. So what am I going to have to do? Well, we decided it was division. So I'm going to say 32 divided by 8 is 4. And it also wanted me to write that as a multiplication equation. So if I said 8 times 4, I would get the total number of stamps, which is 32. All right, how about number 2 here? I want you to be able to see those up there. This one says a parking lot has 7 rows, hint, of parking spaces. Each row has 7 spaces. How many cars can park in the lot? All right, so again, is it a multiplication or is it division? And then which one does it fit the best? So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say it's multiplication, okay? Because we're trying to figure out how many cars can park in the lot. And it's talking about rows. Remember we said that the array options are the ones. So we know it's multiplication. So the only array multiplication one is A. And then I got to figure out what to multiply. So in this case, you would have 7 rows by 7 columns. So I'm going to say 7 times 7, which equals 49. All right, how about this one? Janie planted 5 rows of roses. If she planted a total of 40 roses, how many did she plant in each row? All right, so try to decide, is this a multiplication or a division problem? And then which type of problem is it? So I'll let you go ahead and take a guess at that one. We'll see how you do. All right, well, I can tell that it's a division problem because I know my total number of roses is 40, and I know she planted 5 rows, but I don't know how many are in each one. And I also know it's an array problem because it's talking about rows. Okay, remember we talked about when it says rows, it's going to be one of the arrays. So in this one, it's going to be B, array division. And my division equation is going to be 40 divided by 5 equals 8. In my multiplication, I would just kind of reverse these. I'd say 5 times 8 equals 40. All right, last one. The produce market sells oranges in bags of 6. Santos bought 4 bags. How many oranges did he buy? All right, well, in this one, I know that the group size is 6, and, there are 6 oranges in each one. So within each group, there's 6. There's 6 pieces or 6 oranges, and there are 4 bags. That's my number of my groups. So I know that it's a multiplication problem. So I'm going to eliminate that it's an array. It's not an array. And these ones are division. So the only other one is this repeated group multiplication, C, which is correct. So my equation is going to be 4 times 6, which equals 24. All right, great work. Last thing we're going to look at is repeated subtraction and division. Subtraction can be used to solve division word problems. So if we're still working on your division and you struggle with it, a strategy you can use is to use repeated subtraction. So you could subtract over and over and over the number of times that you would divide by. So in this case, here's the problem. It says how many pieces of ribbon, each 5 centimeter long, can be cut from a ribbon that is 30 centimeters long. Let me read that one more time. How many pieces of ribbon, each 5 centimeters long, can be cut from a ribbon that is 30 centimeters long? So the first question is, what is the length of the ribbon? Well, if I go back to the problem, it says right here that the ribbon is 30 centimeters long. Okay, the first one should be 30 centimeters long. What length will be cut off each time? Well, it says 5 centimeters can be cut each time, so 5. How many times did we subtract 5 from 30? So if I know that it's 30, I'm just going to keep subtracting 5 until I get down to 0 if I don't remember how to do my division. So 30 minus 5, there's 1. And I'll maybe add little tally marks here so we can remember. So we've got 1 5, which is 25, minus 5 more, which is 20, minus 5 more, which is 15, minus 5 more, which is 10, minus 5 more, which is 5, minus 5 more, which is 0. So how many 5s did I take away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5s. So it took 6 times to get down. All right, so how many pieces of ribbon, pieces of ribbon, each 5 centimeters long, can be cut from a ribbon that is 30 centimeters long? So how many pieces can be cut down? 6 pieces, right? So we subtracted it 6 times, so 6 pieces can be cut off. Write a division sentence can we write to represent this problem? So now we know the division, right? If we did 30 divided by 5, what should our answer be? Yeah, it should be 6. 30 divided by 5 equals 6. So as you can see, repeated subtraction is another way to figure out division while you're still learning how to do division. All right, today we focused on word problems and different types of word problems, and we also discussed repeated subtraction.